The perspective of narcissists is frequently depicted in the complex tapestry of Sigma Empaths with wide strokes of intellectual discrepancy. This creates a painting where the emotional depth of Sigma contrasts sharply with the shallow shallows inhabited by narcissistic personalities. It's a sophisticated dance across the IQ spectrum that acknowledges the enormous variability that exists among people. Driven by an uncompromising dedication to emotional intelligence, sensitivity, and the search for real connections, Sigma actors find themselves observing the terrain of narcissistic behaviors with discernment. Narcissism appears in this kaleidoscope of relationships as a mosaic of perceived inauthenticities, an authenticity deficiency. Get ready for a maze-like experience as we reveal the 9 reasons why narcissistic individuals exhibit a certain level of cognitive simplicity. 9. The self-awareness dirge. A glaring brushstroke that colors the narcissistic canvas is the lack of self-awareness in the complex tapestry of human intelligence. Because Sigma Empaths value honesty and introspection, they may find narcissists' lack of self-awareness to be cognitively challenging. Self-awareness is a cornerstone of emotional and cognitive intelligence. It is a lighthouse that helps people navigate the maze of their own actions and how they affect other people. Because they are so consumed by their needs and ravenous ego, narcissists frequently lack the maturity to see their own shortcomings, feel empathy for other people, or understand the repercussions of their behavior. From the perspective of Sigma Empaths, this lack of self-awareness indicates a serious intellectual deficit. The disconnection from one's emotional and behavioral patterns, especially when it harms oneself or others around them, can be seen by discerning Sigma Empaths as a form of intellectual obtuseness. It reflects a failure to comprehend essential aspects of human behavior and relationships. 8. The manipulative puppeteers. Narcissists become expert puppeteers in the world of interpersonal dynamics, pulling ropes on others around them. But for Sigma Empaths, this cunning is not an intellectual display, rather, it is an imprudent and short-sighted attempt. The manipulation that characterizes narcissistic behavior is a strategy used to gain adulation, power, and the accomplishment of selfish objectives. However, because of their deep awareness of real connections and emotional intelligence, Sigma Empaths view manipulation as a last-ditch dumb tactic. They are aware of the fleeting nature of manipulative strategies and how they undermine the possibility of real and lasting connections. Indulging in manipulation, narcissists may be considered emotionally immature and self-obliging, putting their short-term wants and delusional control ahead of their long-term well-being and that of others. This emphasis on manipulation to Sigma Empaths is an indication of intellectual narrowness and emotional immaturity, as well as a narrow-minded approach. As a clear indication of intellectual shallowness, people who consistently use manipulative methods make it difficult for Sigma Empaths to interact with and respect them. 7. The circle of self-interest. Self-centered narcissists orbit a galaxy far off from the empathic world of Sigma Empaths in the cosmic dance of interpersonal dynamics. Sigma Empaths see right through narcissists' self-centeredness as an emptiness, a thoughtless departure from the principles and priorities that matter most to them. The builders of empathy and defenders of deep relationships, Sigma Empaths observe narcissists trapped in a web of excessive self-centeredness, placing their needs, wants, and ego above the fabric of human connection. For Sigma Empaths, this self-serving conduct, like a shallow pool, causes concern since it frequently results in shallow connections that encourage manipulation and emotional instability. Sigma Empaths see a clear intellectual and emotional deficiency in narcissists' incapacity to establish sincere connections and feel other people's feelings. Essential for negotiating the complex human landscape, empathy, emotional intelligence, and self-awareness become elusive for narcissists who prioritize their own interests over the well-being of others. Under the observant eyes of Sigma Empaths, the narcissistic self-centeredness is seen not just as a difference in taste, but also as a type of intellectual dimness, an ignorance of the great richness and depth that real human interactions may reveal. 6. The short-term perspective's flickering candle. Within the maze of viewpoints, narcissists and their narrow-mindedness fade into little lights within the immeasurable depths of Sigma Empaths' knowledge. With their broad perspective on life, Sigma Empaths are often confused by narcissists, who are obsessed with self-aggrandizement, instant fulfillment, and unrestrained want. Sigma empaths may view the short-term lens that narcissists use to view the world as a light of shallowness, with a narrow field of vision devoid of the depth and empathy that they cherish. Relationships, emotional complexity, and the lasting effects of deeds are all lost in the narrow focus of narcissists. As guardians of long-term partnerships, Sigma empaths find it difficult to accept the narcissist's contempt for consequences and their incapacity to see beyond their present demands. Sigma empaths may view the obsession with short-term benefits and self-centered goals as foolish, a vicious cycle that will only lead to relationship problems and unhappiness. But it's important to note that the narcissist may have a different viewpoint because their goals tend to revolve around the one area of self-fulfillment, frequently at the price of a deeper, more comprehensive understanding. Authenticity is lacking in the mask. When it comes to real relationships, narcissists wear masks and hide behind layers of well-curated images. Guardians of authenticity, Sigma empaths, find this lack of sincerity foolish and confusing. For Sigma empaths, authenticity is a highly valued quality that represents being transparent and honest to oneself in social situations and romantic partnerships. Because of their constant desire for approval from others, narcissists frequently compromise their authenticity in order to present a well-curated picture. Sincere encounters are rare amongst Sigma empaths because of their veneer, which hides their true feelings, vulnerabilities, and defects from the outside world. The ongoing obsession with image creation makes navigating relationships with narcissists a difficult ballet. As a result, relationships lack the richness and emotional transparency that come from authenticity, a lesson that people preoccupied with upholding a facade frequently ignore. 4. The puzzle of how to solve problems. Sigma empaths use their analytical skills and interpersonal acuity to construct solutions with empathy and understanding amid the maze of problems and conflicts. To the perceptive eyes of Sigma empaths, narcissists, who frequently have difficulty solving problems, choose a different strategy that seems foolish. When faced with obstacles, Sigma empaths, who value emotional intelligence and reason above all else, might assume that narcissists are less intelligent than they actually are. Sigma empaths place more value on emotional intelligence and logical reasoning than narcissists do, who may resort to deception or avoidance to further their own agendas at the expense of cooperative problem-solving. This reliance on ego-driven, quick fixes, according to Sigma empaths, indicates a lack of depth and intellectual aptitude when dealing with problems and conflicts in real life. 3. The emotional intelligence's missing component. Emotional intelligence is the thread that connects brains and hearts in the complex web of human connections. When a narcissist is missing this essential quality, Sigma empaths view them as stupid. Understanding and navigating human interactions with empathy and dexterity is the domain of emotional intelligence, which is a strong suit of Sigma empaths. Narcissist self-centeredness, which puts their own needs ahead of other people's feelings, leaves a deficit that Sigma empaths see as a serious emotional and intellectual failing. The emotional intelligence that Sigma empaths admire is in sharp contrast to the incapacity of narcissists to relate to, comprehend, or react to the emotions of others around them. This lack of emotional intelligence presents a picture of mental and emotional weakness to Sigma empaths, which taints their relationships with narcissists. 2. The intricate web of egotistical intricacy. Narcissists create a bewildering display of superfluous complexity in the complex dance of relationships, which is a result of their complex psychological makeup and self-centered tendencies. The complexity of narcissists is a sign of the wisdom of the Sigma empaths, the navigators of simplicity. Narcissists' insatiable need for attention, adoration, and control drives them to fabricate facts, manipulate circumstances, gaslight people, and engage in power battles. Their lack of empathy for others when their wants are not fulfilled reveals a bossy attitude in which they believe they are the luckiest people in the world and should be treated like royalty. An authentic empathy and insufficient comprehension of others' feelings complicate matters and impede direct and truthful communication. Because of their constant desire for approval, narcissists frequently use pointless difficulties in relationships as instruments for upholding their sense of authority and superiority, thereby causing chaos in their wake. 1. The supremacy of the ego. The ego's unquestionable prominence, a sign of ingrained personality qualities that define narcissists, is at the center of narcissistic conduct. As guardians of authentic connections, Sigma Empaths view narcissists' egotistical dance as an expression of foolish self-importance. The core of narcissists' egocentricity is their inflated sense of self-worth and their unrelenting need of validation and adulation. They are the world's greatest, and they demand all the attention and appreciation in the world to support their already weak sense of self. The need for approval turns into an obsession, and any perceived disregard triggers a frenzy of attempts to take the lead back. This egocentric behavior shows itself as conversations that are dominated by their stories, a constant drive to establish dominance in relationships and interactions, and a disrespect for the needs and feelings of others. Relationships become into stages for narcissists to display their exaggerated sense of self, and every encounter becomes a chance to brag about themselves. They are protected from emotions of weakness and inadequacy by this egocentric dance, but it has a price. It puts their needs, wants, and viewpoints above all else. Those caught in the complex web of a narcissist's egocentricity suffer as a result of the self-centered and frequently manipulative character of narcissistic conduct. In the field of emotional intelligence, genuine human connections are shaped by the complex dance between acknowledgement and recognition. Building relationships rooted in sincerity and depth is essential to the lives of Sigma and empaths, who value these traits. But when one comes across narcissists, it becomes difficult to navigate this emotional terrain because of their apparent lack of emotional intelligence, which portrays them as people floating aimlessly in a sea devoid of complex relationships. A narcissist's emotional development is seen by a Sigma as little more than a mirage, an illusion that leaves the canvas of their relationship flat and devoid of the rich colors of true comprehension. Investigating the intricate details of narcissistic behavior, however, reveals a distinct side of intelligence, a clever and manipulative intelligence. The strategic intelligence that frequently underlies narcissistic traits must be acknowledged, even though Sigma empaths may feel that there is a lack of emotional awareness. In this complex dance of feelings and intelligence, the question of whether empathy and emotional intelligence are inherently incompatible with narcissistic tendencies, or can coexist alongside them, emerges. This investigation is still hovering between the precise fineness of narcissistic manipulation and the profundity of genuine connection.